Some bikes just become legends over time, like the Honda Goldwing, Suzuki GSX-R, and the Harley Sportster. In the adventure world, that title belongs to BMW's GS lineup. Since the early 80s, when the R80G/S first came out, BMW's GS has been the benchmark. G/S originally stood for Gelände and Straße, off-road and street. It was built to handle both. But how did adventure bikes like the GS get so popular? Simple: versatility. These machines are built to go anywhere, do anything. They're powerful enough for long road trips, comfortable enough to ride for days, and rugged enough to hit the dirt when the road disappears. BMW's GS started this trend, and it's still leading the pack. Meet the R1300 GS, the evolution of an icon. Now, after decades of refinement, BMW has launched the R1300 GS, and it's more than just an upgrade. This is a complete rethinking of the GS concept. If the R1250 GS was rock and roll, the 1300 is heavy metal. This is the fifth-generation boxer-powered GS, but it represents a third major shift in philosophy. After the lighter early models like the R80G/S, BMW went bigger and more complex with the R1100, 1150, 1200, and 1250. And while those bikes crushed the competition, BMW realized it was time to trim some fat and step up the game again. So with the R1300 GS, BMW went back to the drawing board, focusing on more off-road capability, more power, and less weight. The result? A bike that keeps everything riders loved about the GS, but turns up the dial across the board. Sleek new look, familiar comfort. Visually, the R1300 GS has a slimmer, more modern face. It's not just about looks either. It still keeps wind off your chest thanks to an electronically adjustable windscreen that works like a charm. We tested the triple black version, a $995 upgrade, which also includes a plush comfort seat that makes long rides feel effortless. Even the standard seat is solid for day-long rides. Riders with a 31-inch inseam will find the 33.4-inch seat height manageable, especially in street boots. With off-road boots, a higher seat might be more comfortable for the knees. And even with the taller setup, the bike is well balanced at a stop. Power and performance. Let's talk about what's under the tank. The R1300 GS is powered by a 1,300 cubic centimeters shift-cam boxer twin that produces 128.4 horsepower and 95.8 lb-ft of torque. That power is available across a wide rev range, giving it a relaxed and effortless feel on the road. The bike launches from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.63 seconds, and the quarter-mile flies by in 11.84 seconds at nearly 121 miles per hour, and that's on dual-sport tires. If you fit it with more street-focused rubber like the Metzeler Tourance Next 2, it gets even faster. Fuel, fit, and finish. The gas tank is slightly smaller than the last model at 5.0 gallons, but the slimmer design makes the bike feel tighter and more controllable, especially when standing up off-road. The wide handlebars give solid leverage, and with the right foot pegs and bar risers, included in the Enduro Pro setup, it feels perfect for standing up through technical terrain. The new 1300 GS is also 26 pounds lighter than the outgoing model, which is no small feat for such a tech-loaded machine. Verdict: still the king? So, is the R1300 GS still the best adventure bike in the world? In a word, yes. BMW has taken everything that made the GS legendary: comfort, versatility, tech, and improved it across the board. It's better on road, better off-road, and easier to ride than ever. The GS still sets the standard for the ADV segment, and now it does it with more muscle, more balance, and more finesse. If you're chasing the horizon and want a bike that can keep going no matter what the road or trail throws at you, the 2025 BMW R1300 GS is still the one to beat. Ride quality and handling. BMW didn't just up the power, it gave the GS a whole new steel frame that's both stiffer and lighter. The engine now acts as a stressed member, with the transmission mounted underneath the crankshaft to shorten the engine and centralize mass. The result? Best handling GS ever. Even with its 566-pound wet weight, the R1300 GS feels surprisingly agile. At low speeds, it's easy to balance and steer. On winding mountain roads, it leans in smoothly and holds a line without drama. BMW's Evo Telelever and Evo Paralever suspension setups keep the ride flat and composed. No dive when braking, no squat on acceleration. And with features like adaptive cruise control, it's a joy on the highway too. Ride modes and tech galore. The standard R1300 GS comes with rain, road, eco, and enduro modes, but our triple black model had the premium package, $4,270, which adds Enduro Pro, Dynamic, and Dynamic Pro. These unlock sharper throttle response and dial and the dynamic suspension adjustment, DSA, for different riding styles. You can even tie suspension settings to each ride mode, so the bike adjusts itself based on what terrain you're on. From plush road cruising to stiffened corner carving, the R1300 GS delivers. Braking that inspires confidence. Braking is another area where the 1300 GS shines. Up front, radial mount 4-piston calipers bite down on 310mm discs, while a 2-piston caliper handles the rear. It also features dynamic brake control, which gently cuts throttle when you're braking hard, and lean-sensitive ABS Pro for added stability in turns. Even on chunky Karoo 4 tires, the GS stopped from 60 miles per hour in just 136 feet. Off-road, ready for adventure. Despite the GS's road luxury, this bike doesn't shy away from dirt. Switch into Enduro mode, and the bike adjusts suspension settings and throttle response for the trail. With Enduro Pro mode, it gets more serious, letting you slide the rear, pull wheelies, and tweak ABS and traction control. Want to get even gnarlier? BMW's sports suspension, part of the Enduro Pro upgrade, adds 0.8 inches of suspension travel and stiffer springs. That's on top of the standard 7.5 inches up front and 7.9 in the rear. It'll handle everything from fire roads to moderate whoops. Just be careful with tight trails. Those iconic boxer heads still stick out sideways.